Welcome back to the shop. As you can see, we're about to attack the infamous alternator for the E420. Now, I say infamous because there are numerous posts and videos about how difficult of a job this is because of the packaging in this car, which you can't even see it from here. This is the auxiliary air pump. It's actually underneath that, but the belt is going down there to it. You can kind of see that, but you can't get it from the bottom. It has to come out through the top, from what I understand. And that upper bolt on the alternator hits the fan clutch, so you can't take the bolt out without taking the fan clutch off. So we're going to take the fan clutch and the shroud out of the way first, then we'll start deciphering what we're going to do. And by the way, make sure battery is disconnected, which it is. This car doesn't have a battery in it. It's going to show you the difference on the M113. There's the alternator. Easy. Move an air injection line out of the way. Looks like a couple bolts and that thing would come right out of there. So, it is what it is. And I know this engine bay is completely filthy and nasty and dusty and leaves everywhere, but when we start getting ready to paint this car, I'm gonna power wash everything, the whole underside, underneath. Everything is going to be power washed several times actually before we get to paint. And it will be clean. It will look nice. So anyway, keep putting this off. Don't really want to do this, but we got to. So all right, well, I'll get set up and we'll get after it. This video is going to contain swapping the alternator out and also the combination switch that's in the car, the turn signal switch. So if you just want to see the turn signal switch, skip ahead to right here and you can just watch that. If you want to stay for the alternator, that's what we're doing now. I just decided I was going to start under the car, so we will get the connections off the alternator. Eight millimeter nut. And a 13. Well, not on this one. It's a 14. Is a 13 millimeter. I had a 12 on there for some reason. All right. While I'm down here, you can might see the tip of it there. I'm going to get the bottom mounting bolt for the alternator out. It's 15 millimeter from the front. That's cool. My ratchet just died. Do it the old-fashioned way with a 17. All right, bottom bolt out. Let's move up top. All right, from here, this angle, we're just going to get the shroud off and our fan. Got a couple of clips. Shroud lifts up, so it'll be loose. Got our handy dandy clutch taker offer tool. Now just take them off together. Now we can see absolutely nothing. So let's get the belt off, then we can work on that top bolt. It's an E420 socket to get the belt tensioner. Guess I should pay attention to how this belt is run, shouldn't I? I'm gonna take a quick picture of that. Cool. Mercedes belt. No cracks. Good. We're reusing it. Man, that battery ratchet would sure be nice right about now. Got the bolt out. Now, this is the part where people start struggling. So let's see if we're gonna struggle here. Get out. Just prying it, the alternator loose from its lower bracket. I am foreseeing problems here. Also see that it is not going to go down through the bottom. Put something on front of that radiator. There we go. Should protect the radiator from me banging on it. Alright, looks like... Let's show you guys. Well, if you look way down in there, you can see that alternator down there. Not looking like it's going to come up easily through the top. I may have to take the air pump off and that pulley right there, that idler. Let me fiddle with that for about an hour and we'll see where we're at. Goodness. How long is this bolt? Finally. I got updates. Alternator, she is out. You do have to take the auxiliary air pump off. And I just loosened up this bracket that holds the pump, that auxiliary pump. And the alternator was able to slip barely right through this hole right here. So, we got her on the bench. Now we'll see if my pulley puller can pull this pulley. All right. We're gonna have extreme close-up cam. See if we can get this pulley off. Yes, we can. It pops right off of there and throws the bolt wherever, the nut wherever it went. Found it. Well, I guess we don't need the pulley puller, huh? You know. May take this apart later, but I think that the bearings sound fine in it, but I think that we probably lost the brushes on the regulator. So, because it's spinning very free too. No, and it doesn't even sound like it's dragging anything. Okay, let's get the new one over here. See that one? You can almost hear it dragging, so yeah, that ought to hopefully do us there. Of course, different size. Why would you be the same? 24 millimeter, anybody? Yep. And it's stuck on there. Not anymore. I'm gonna see if this nut will thread on here. I think I'm gonna go with the original nut instead of that, because it has the flat washer built onto it. This is a separate washer and nut on the replacement. Don't like that idea. I mean, it's fine, it would work, but you know, I do what I do. This pulley is not keyed. There's no key on the shaft here, so start this by hand. Oh yeah. All right. Guess I should check this first to make sure it's clocked the same way. It is not. That means the posts are going to be a little bit further out to the outside of the car. I'm actually okay with that. Gives us more room. Let's try it. Back to the car. Okay, well, let's try to slide this in here. The camera is very precariously perched on the car. Probably if I move it too much, it's probably gonna fall. I'm gonna try not to drop it while we work this alternator in here. Just like that, we are by. So we'll rotate it, get the bottom put in the bracket. I'm sure y'all can't see anything but my arm. So anyway, that's how it slides through there. It is in. So let me get some bolts in here and get it stabilized and check the wires on the bottom, and then we'll pick it back up in a second. All right, alternator is back in. The wires being clocked a little different didn't hurt us. Still plenty of slack in these wires, and it's connected. Top and bottom mount is in. You guys are not going to be able to see me or see the air pump going back in, because it's just going to be a, you know, all you would see was basically my head and my arms sticking down in the engine bay. So let me put all that stuff back together. Let's get the front of it back together, and we'll see if this thing is charging. All right, everything's back in here. Shroud, fan, belt. Took me about 17 years to figure out how the belt ran. Air pump's back in it. Air box. We are ready to put a battery on, or connect the battery and fire this thing up. Thing I like is I can do the battery from behind the wheel. You look in the back, it's under the back seat. So, grab my negative cooler. Got power. Cheer my phone. Yeah, buddy. Cell phone. That 80,914 miles. All right, let's go for it. Well, I can already tell it's better, because before this would already have said discharge. Airbag light on, probably because I had the airbag out and was messing with the key. So I'll have to reset that. Cool. Let's grab my tester and put it on the alternator. Let's put it on the battery. Thing runs smooth, as it should. 80,000 miles. Already said that before. See if I'm going to be able to do this while holding the camera. Plastic. Light's not very good, but might be able to see the needle is right there in the OK range, so we are charging again. Good. That is great. Little preview for what I've been doing with this thing. Might be able to tell the trunk is a different color. Anyway, that is for next week. In the car, parts came in. I've got my new turn signal switch. Pop this turn signal switch off. Swap it out real quick. Kind of see it's a little, doesn't really work. They had some duct tape and some other tape on there trying to hold it in place. If you hold it really tight, it does work, but it's clearly come apart. So we're going to get rid of that real quick. To do it first, we need to take the airbag out. Now, before you do this, disconnect the battery. You don't want this thing accidentally popping off in your face. So, battery is disconnected. We are good to go. We'll turn it up. There's two T30 screws that you can access from the back of the steering column, from the back of the steering wheel. And there's one on the other side. I'm going to turn the steering wheel the opposite way so I can get to that one easier. After breaking 4 tools, 4 T30 bits, and tearing a hole in the steering wheel, hey, airbag's coming off now. Anyway, we'll carry on. Take the airbag, unplug it. Airbag is off, out of the way. Now we've got wires that we need to remember where they are touching for the horn. I'm going to take a quick picture so I don't put them back in the wrong spot. All right. Which, honestly, they're different size, so probably be very difficult to put them in the wrong spot. That one was a little more difficult, but got it off. There is the airbag and horn wires in the center here. I have the wrong tool. It's got an Allen key bolt for the steering wheel. It is a 10 millimeter. We're gonna live dangerously. Take it off with an impact. That didn't work. Let's try this with a 1/2-inch ratchet. Well, looks like we're going to try this with a 1/2-inch impact. Well, it's been a couple days. I kept breaking tools, trying to figure out how to get this center nut off the steering wheel. And I had this 10 mil Allen key that was on a plastic T-handle, but I couldn't really get a bite of it anywhere to help me here, so I broke the plastic off, and this was a ball socket on one end. I cut the ball off of this 10 mil Allen key so it would fit in there a little tighter in that bolt, and used a breaker bar, a 10 millimeter socket fit on this end of the tool, a wrench to put more leverage on this, and a 36-inch pipe wrench to hold on the steering wheel up against this door seal to hold back up. And with all that said, finally got this thing to break loose. Of course, it was Loctited in there, but it's out. So anyway, once you get to this point, if the steering wheel is ready to pop off, you want to make sure at the very least that your wheels are straight and the steering wheel is straight. Luckily, Mercedes in here, let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but there is a little arrow right here on the steering wheel and up at the top. And then on the shaft, there's a yellow mark on the top and the bottom where the arrow lines up. So that's how we are going to, maybe you can see that. That's how we're going to line it back up. So from here, it's just wiggle. That's just way, yeah. For all the trouble it was worth to get that bolt off, that was way too easy for the steering wheel. All right, so we'll feed our wires for the clock spring and the horn back through the steering wheel. Steering wheel is off. You can see I even tore it right here because I couldn't get the other airbag screw to bolt to come loose, so I ended up tearing this. I'll see if I can find another one, a salvage yard somewhere. If not, I've got super glue and glue it together and you can't really see it. So anyway, steering wheel's out of the way. For the clock spring, oh, and by the way, remember, battery is disconnected. So on the clock spring, you do not want to turn any of this right now. It is set in place. It has a steering position or steering angle sensor in there. You turn it, you can end up damaging the clock spring. You can end up damaging the steering angle sensor. We're probably going to have to reset that once we get done anyway. But let's continue. Has 2 screws in here, Phillips screws. That this screwdriver is too big for. Let me go get a smaller one. All right, now we got the smaller screwdriver. Keep that handy. These 2 screws. All right, now gently work this back and forth and pull on it. You can feel it coming out. At this point, we can screw these back in. It has some threads on the back side of the switch. There's the clock spring. That'll keep it from rotating, but you still don't want to move it any more than you possibly need to. All right, now we're at the combination switch, which is also called turn signal switch. You look in here, there's 3 screws holding it on. This whole piece will come out, then we'll have to disconnect it from under there. Let's get the screws out and see if this thing can work up a little bit, give us some room. Would you believe these? I have not been in here and these screws are backed out. I don't know why they would be loose. Huh. I mean, look at that. It's not even bottomed out. See about the top one. No, look at that. That is just, yeah, that's crazy. Now this whole thing wants to come out, even with your cruise control switch. Just the way it's made. Okay. Cruise control. That top screw goes through your cruise control and then into the turn signal switch, and then it screws in. That's why we had to pull the cruise control. We'll just kind of set that back in place for now. And here's the turn signal switch. Like I said, we're going to have to disconnect it from the back, from the bottom, and fish the wires through the column. So let's do that. Looking up under the dash, I didn't pull this tray all the way down, so that may end up hampering a little bit, but you can grab hold of the switch, move it back and forth, see which wires it is, and which is this one. You follow the connector up. And I was just verifying that the connectors look the same, so we're not doing this for no reason. This looks like it slides into, yep, see, it slides into that little groove of this holder thing. Then the connection itself, you push this in, push it in like that, and that disconnects it. So now it's just a matter of feeding it through. This plastic piece is unhooked, so okay. Now it should come right out once you get the right twist to it. And there it is. Here is the old one. And this is the new one. Covers look a little different. Maybe this cover will switch over to help cover that up. No, that protective cover does not transfer over. Of course, this is not a genuine Mercedes part. That's probably why. This is just an aftermarket part. About 25% of the price of a genuine part. But should still function. So, yeah. Let me get this fished in here, and I'll pick you back up in a second. Okay, got her connected underneath. I'm not going to be able to do this with one hand, but you can see these grooves. All these grooves, these are on the cruise control. They fit these tabs that are on the steering column, plastic, and they fit inside this switch. So, well, I can't do this one-handed, so at least you know what I'm doing here. They have to fit in the grooves, so. And there's the cruise control into the switch here. All right. As you can see, cruise control. The little tabs are fitting in the grooves. Fits into the combo switch here and around that one screw hole. The combo switch itself has grooves that fit in here that put this plate or this tab right here where it was correctly. See, I'm gonna have to wipe all this, get all this off. This is adhesive from where they left over tape that they were trying to hold all this together before. So that's about it. It looks like the rest of this is gonna be pretty much reverse of what I just did. Alright, so I'm going to just set the camera over here to the side, and I'll let Caffeinated Vasily handle the rest of this.
Yeah, I'm so fresh like the morning, mouth wide open like they yawning. Every time they see me, they in G-Shock. Homie, this is too far. Homie, I feel too alive. You can see me like Illuminati. You can see me like Illuminati. But I'm shining so bright, so bright. Don't come and try to share some of this light, no. Give me a beat and I control it like a maestro. Ladies on a mission, they be trying to get me wiped up. Shawty, wait a minute, can't tell if I like ya. Gotta make sure you know how to shake it like a bartender. Team with me and they all winners. And you know we ballin' all winter, all summer. Jewelry around my neck is lightning, but I'm all thunder. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Place your bets on us. Get your money and flip it, yeah. Keep coming with it.
We line it back up with the marks. Fits perfect. And we put this pain in the butt bolt back in it. I'm going to go this far just to hold it, because I'm going to look for another steering wheel because of this. And we'll see what we can find. Well, you can see I went ahead and put the steering wheel together. Wasn't nothing left, just tightened up that 10mm hex bolt that holds the steering wheel on, the 2 wires for the horn, and the 2 bolts for the airbag. I'm going to run it like this, and if I find a steering wheel in better condition later in the same color, I'll change it out then. For now, this is what we're doing. I'm going to reset the airbag light, and we ought to be good. So that's going to do it for this week. Appreciate you guys sticking around. We will catch you next week.